Welcome everybody to session number 19. Oh, we are cruising of the Queen's Frost Crown. Got a sweet new layout today. Compliments of Nate, who got us something put together. In the intro, while we do a full channel rebrand, since we're kind of officially launching, I guess we decided we want to make this happen. So we got someone on board to do a channel rebrand for us. Super cool and exciting. But yeah, we'll do quick introductions around the horn really fast and let everybody say hi, and then Sarah's gonna recap us from last week. So we'll just start on my camera that way with Josh, and I'll go counterclockwise.
Hi, I'm Josh. We're about to die. I play Diggin, a maybe Warforged house drone thing. Who knows?
A butler.
But I'm a rogue.
Robo Butler.
All right, and then down from Josh is Sarah.
Hi, I'm Sarah, and I play Max Mill, the Tiefling Sorcerer.
And below Sarah, but next to her in real life, is Magic.
Hello, everybody. I'm Magic. I play Tarak, the half-orc monk, and I may or may not have daddy issues.
Oh.
Don't
No,
know.
talk about the character.
There we go. Oh man, I just realized I missed that for a second. I was like looking at my camera. Hey, Magic's got daddy issues. Good note. And then
All right.
up to my 2 o'clock position here is Zach.
Hi everyone, my name is Zach. I play Doran, the Dragonborn Barbarian. Stuff's going down and it's getting crazy.
It is.
I'm a little worried, not gonna lie.
Below him is Nate.
Hello. I am Nate. I play Soren, the half-elf blade singer rogue. And we're not going to die. We got this.
All right.
Maybe.
And last but not least, joining us as a guest from last week, at the bottom right there on the screen is David.
Hi, I'm David Fielding, and I play Batran, the human witch, and I just met these guys.
and now you're running for your lives.
Yeah.
Fun group. So, Sarah, things got crazy last week.
Yeah.
A little wild. A little bit. You want to recap us and let us all know what happened?
So, we started off with meeting Batran and Brunoinum, the dragon aspect of time, and Brunoinum welcomed us into her hoard, which was knowledge, and we all got to poke around in the collection library hoard, and we found a bunch of cool books, and we were super excited about reading it, but then something bad was about to happen. So Brindoinum took us into this cool room where we got to ask the book a specific question, and the book answered us to the best of its ability. And the answers were all very interesting. Then we went into this interdimensional space and saw the weave being corrupted. It was very creepy. And we heard a very interesting prophecy, which might be about us, assuming we are the main characters. But then
Of our own campaign, I hope so.
No, you guys all have backups roll, right? Because you're supposed to. These are supposed to be the characters that inform the main characters.
Right.
I
Unironically,
have
yes.
65
We're just
additional
side
characters
We're
ready to
side
go.
characters. Red shirts. That's what we are.
That's right.
yes.
We're red
Wow.
shirts.
But then, oh no, something starts attacking Benoinum's lair, and so she goes and tries to defend it, but then it turns out that this very powerful icky rot goddess, Imana, is coming to attack, and she absolutely whoops our bottoms, but thankfully, Brindoinum, the aspect of time, reverses time like a total clutch queen, and we go back, and she sends us on our merry way to this to the gateway back home, hopefully. But right before we're able to get anything done, the bad guy dragon who was attacking
He was the
and
void
helped
dragon.
Imana come it pops up, and that is where we're at.
Yeah, it is where you're at. So let's just go ahead and switch over to the map. Nothing but 20s this whole session. Absolutely, Orbs. I know. He's feeling it. It's definitely not like our last game yesterday where Josh couldn't roll anything above a 10, it seems like. And if you're watching the stream, everybody that's playing, I do want to draw your attention to the stream. If you haven't, you should load it on the side and look, because Nate also made a super cool battle map overlay for us to play with too. Yeah, it's really fancy. I like
Oh,
it.
it looks good.
It looks very nice. I
The
like
Oh,
it.
chat
that's
and all that.
pretty.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
Nice to see it.
as we ended last week, you opened the doors on what seemed like another warehouse, but it opened up to a grove at the backside of, or near the northern section of Kosoba proper. And there was no music playing, but a whole lot of
There is
bad
none.
things happening. However, as you entered, you got to see these massive gates in this huge grove of trees. You could barely make out the pictures of stars on the ground with roots growing over them. I do want to give a shout out to a group that we support, that I support on Patreon, CZ and Peku, for making these amazing maps that we're using on the stream. You should definitely go to Patreon and check those guys out. They're such beautiful map artists. We love subscribing to them and supporting all their work. They do such fabulous stuff. So please check them out. But we enter into this incredibly large clearing of trees, the same root-like structures with the thick bark that are these mushroom trees that have been in the surrounding area. There are a few other species intermixed in here. It seems like a strange place where the reality kind of gets crossed over. And as you entered in, Noldrith, the Void Dragon, had crashed through the ceiling above, tearing through whatever temporal magic was holding this place in sort of a hidden location, clearly exactly what he was looking for. And Bryndoinum crashed directly above him and landed on top of them, and you all are not in combat with the two of them that are fighting up near the northern side of this area, but they are aware of you being there, and you can hear them yelling and crashing and fighting each other on the northern side of this area.
Oh god, there they are.
Yes.
Oh boy.
Nope,
But-
nope, bad. Don't like it.
You guys have books and a whole group of people behind you trying to find their way out. What are you guys doing?
Alright. Can we find a series of symbols that looks just like the ones that we found in Cyorion?
So this map is accurately represented. Unlike the other portals that you came in through, which was a single circular gate with the two spires, this has multiple rings over each other with symbols etched on them. From this distance, you recognize a couple of the ones I'm pinging there for you. North of you, you see a couple that you do recognize in Bradige, etched onto the sides of these. However, you can't quite make out the ones in the central ring, and there are all the gates on the side, and you step down this path and walk through a large gate, which is now behind you. And for all intents and
the
purposes, so I don't need to mark them on the map, the group of people that is behind you, they're perpetually about 30 feet behind you, trying to stay in cover and waiting for your guys' signal to move somewhere.
Do the rings look like they're movable?
They do not look movable.
Like they're covered in grass and all that.
They
Like
are
moss.
mossy and covered, yes.
The round circular objects, they look like they have star fields in them. Are they solid? Is there something inside those things?
You'd have to get a little closer to investigate. You're not quite sure.
I
Um,
move that direction then.
Yeah.
You should be able
Rock
to
follows.
grab your character and move it to where you'd like to go on the map. There you go. Perfect.
And I'm using investigation or something to check it.
Sure. Go ahead and make an investigation check for me while you're over there.
to try and kind of move over to like
Can I aid?
the platform there.
Yep.
And
Can
Yeah.
Tarak aid the investigation?
Yep.
I don't see a whole lot with a 9.
So since Tarak is going to help you out, I'm going to put Tarak next to Botrin there. Since Tarak's going to help you out, Botrin, if you mouse over where your investigation roll is, click the plus. You'll get to roll it at advantage.
All right. So I just roll it again.
If you, in the chat box, you see where the rolls are in the chat box on the right-hand side.
Yes.
So if you mouse over where it says investigation with the 9, put your mouse over that, you should see a plus button pop up there. That'll let you
Gotcha.
roll with advantage.
Ooh.
That
So
was
you-
so well.
It's difficult to tell what this exactly represents, but this is a solid, glossy black surface, and you actually do see something within it. They do look like stars, like far-off stars through these little portals. But it's hard to tell exactly what they represent.
is this center circular structure here something that we can like step up onto?
Yep, it's fairly tall. Each step is about 2 feet to get up.
Okay,
So it's not so tall that you can't just step up it. It's just kind of you have to hoist yourself up a little
it's
bit.
okay. Got it. Can we like step up onto it and see if it like responds?
As you step on
light up or
those
anything?
ones, though they do light up as if they were the ones that you had touched before
Okay.
on the
Good, good,
previous
good, good.
rings.
So just
Is there one that looks like Light's heart? Or Light and Heart?
Make an investigation check for me.
can I assist with that as she's like kind of
Yes. You may.
looking across and she rolls with advantage or we roll separately?
Yep,
What
she'll
do you
roll
want
with advantage.
Okay.
Okay, cool,
So
cool.
first, that was a natural 15. Next, natural 17.
Ooh,
So,
Not bad.
yes, thank goodness. For investigation, that's not Arcana. Okay, so that's a total of 18.
All right. 18, you do find the icons, or the runes representing Light's heart. And so, 2
Like-
separate runes as they were before. We'll say this one here is Light, and this one over here is Heart on the internal ring.
Alright, then I go over to the light one. And does it like light up? Does anything
Yep.
happen?
As you step on the rune, it does light up.
Can someone see what happens if you step on the heart?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, that's like
Right.
this one. Here's this one.
Alright.
Just kind of stand there.
So the 2 of them do light up, and you see some of these outside runes here on this external ring. They begin to light up as well. You see 4 of them in particular light up.
Max, what do those mean?
DM, what do those mean?
You glance at the runes and you don't recognize any of them.
That's a really good question, Soren.
Shit.
Should we stand on them while you guys are standing on those two?
Yeah, we can try. Hey,
Try it.
y'all come over here.
I shout back for Botrin. Botrin, we could use your help.
Doctrine would like to touch the circular glass of the thing and try to make an arcana. Just one last attempt to see if he can understand what it is.
Yeah, go ahead and make an Arcana check as you're kind of glaring, like looking into this. You're gonna roll it with a flat +2 since you've been here for some time.
Don't touch the butt.
Wow.
Oh,
Total
I
of
know nothing.
Just saving the good rolls for something really important.
yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
Nothing but 20s. All right. So I reluctantly leave that behind and move over towards the.
Well, yeah, with a 9, you're a bit You're a bit taken aback. You feel great nothingness extend beyond your fingertips. It's a little incomprehensible for you, the scale of what you're looking through. You can't pinpoint anything in particular. And the two of the dragons crash and continue to fight off to the western side.
Diggin just has his daggers out, watching them fight.
Tarak
Bartram-
is going to stand on one of the symbols in the outer ring that lit up. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which other ones are lit up?
Give me just a hot second, guys. Baby's waking up, and I want to make sure she gets passed off so she's not screaming bloody murder while we're trying to do this. So,
Baby!
Sure thing.
give me a hot sec. Be right back.
Cool. In the interim, just cheering for the dragon. Yeah, get his ass. Woo! Bro, die now.
TV.
Waving like a little flag.
Oh gosh. Okay. What are we dealing with here? What's going on? Are those the dragons moving?
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
It's a typical Monday
love
night
that.
for the Midnight Parliament.
Oh, you know,
Oh man.
puzzles,
I
cataclysmic
hope this
dragons
works.
fighting.
Universe is trapped in
I mean,
giant glass balls.
we could try to climb the thingies.
I don't know if we
this
actually
doesn't work.
need to.
Yeah, what's the backup plan?
If this doesn't work, we call in the 30 extra people and have them stand on the ones that aren't lit up, and then hope that works. I don't know.
Maybe the gates on the sides have something to do with it.
Yeah, looking at them, they have some symbols, but on the keystone symbol.
Let's see.
Well, it looks like. So we have 4 gates. We have the one we came through to the south, and then we have one on the east and west, and one to the north.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing a live game time with baby until someone
Oh, baby.
Right.
because they all started doing dinner and I'm just like, we got a wonderful time today, people, don't we?
Hello,
We
baby.
got time to beautifully. Okay. So there are 4 runes on the exterior ring that are lighting up.
Okay.
That are starting to move a little bit. They seem to be shifting as you stand on the interior runes. And then
Shifting as in they are
The
lighting up, different runes are lighting up, or they are
Yep.
just shifting?
no, the entire circular piece is moving. And
Oh.
also, on the inside,
Oh.
as you touch Light's hearth, you notice on that very interior, this small little dot is shining a bit.
oh,
Oh dear.
So we-
This over here on this far side, let me try to ping it one more time with the vision shift.
Oh.
That has a glow emitting from it.
okay. So how do we figure out which one's Cyorion?
I think that one might be it.
Is it? Or is that one Light's heart? Here. that the
is
We
home
don't know the. We don't know the
We
code
could
for
try
our
home. We could just try home. Because
And
we
hope
know
that
the
it,
rune
hope
for
that
that.
it knows. Yeah.
I mean, it is magical.
Yeah. It's possible. We
Botrin,
never figured out the. Oh, go ahead.
Botrin, make a quick investigation check for me as you kind of come up to these rings, these larger rings, or sorry, these larger segments that are moving with those rings.
I'm not rolling well tonight. Just a
All
7.
good. No, it's fine. The maroons are moving pretty quick, and you started to pick up Radige fairly well. You're pretty sure one of the runes that passed by mentioned a great forest, or is referring to a great forest. You're not sure.
Which one was that?
It's this circular one right here that's now moving clockwise slowly away from you.
Okay, I move quickly to stand on it.
Okay. As you stand on that ring, show my scenes here. The gate on the right-hand side begins to glow with a bit of a green coloration to it.
Like Katala
That
green?
it?
You're not sure. It doesn't have a specific. It doesn't remind you of a specific place. It's starting to glow.
What
Does it-
do the other 3 that light up? What do these symbols look like?
The other ones that light up, I know that I said that they're moving, but you can just stay stationary. This one that's shaped kind of in the Z pattern is lit up. The hook, like this kind of crook next to it, is also lit up. And then right next to the circle, this one was lit up.
Okay, and just to confirm, because you're saying they're shifting, so only those light up. It's not like the lights shift through the different runes, right? It's
Yep.
the ones that are lit up are always constant.
Yep, as
Okay.
Soren,
And they're like,
as Soren and Maximil are standing on the 2 interior runes that they recognized, those 4 lit up and are it's kind of slowly spinning that no more than 5 feet every few seconds. So it's very slowly rotating that exterior ring.
So it is rotating.
The outside
okay.
one is rotating.
Yep, the
They're, like,
outside
all
ring
like-
is rotating. The lights are not moving, but the outside
Got
ring
it.
is rotating.
They are,
Pressure.
okay, because right. So they are.
and the large like overarching ones, those are stationary as well.
Those are
right?
stationary. Yep, but
Okay.
you are starting to see light emerge from those.
Okay, good to know. And you said this one over to the right seems to be emitting a green glow at this point,
Yep, it's starting to get the faintest green glow to it.
like a
I'm gonna-
like a portal kind of thing, or like
Yep.
one of the runes is glowing.
Yeah, there's a green haze kind of beginning to appear there.
Okay, good.
I'm gonna hop on the glowing rune in front of me on the low level.
Okay.
Can I like try and like yell out to Diggin, like, Diggin, that one over there. Go see if you can touch it. And like pointing to this one of the, I think it was that one or
The
this
crook?
one. I forget which
Yeah,
one.
this little hook,
This one,
this crook there.
and then that's the other one glowing. Is this one?
Yeah, this one. Right.
Is
Okay.
Botron on one of the ones that's lit up?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You hear Bryndoinum kind of roar for a moment as she breathes, and this shimmer appears around Noldrith, fighting on the side of the woods there. And as it does, Noldrith stops moving, and you can see Bryndoinum is breathing and holding him in place. And her eyes dart back to the group of you, and you all hear a voice creep in from the recesses of time and space, just echoing through the backs of your minds. Diggin, the voice kind of appears in your, just how you hear things, but it comes through slightly distorted. Doesn't make sense at first, but it sounds like it's an audio track slowly speeding up, but eventually catches up to you, and you hear it as well. But Bryndoinum speaks to all of you and says, Amana was deceived. You're safe, but her minions are coming in her stead. You must hurry. And you start to hear the screams of terror from the back of the room where the group of people's located as they begin pouring in and running past you as it's all lit up back towards this forest and the towards the trees in the upper right, trying to escape, and through the hole in the ceiling, you spot a few of the creatures start to come down. The long spined cockroach type creatures start to make their way in through the roof.
Are they close quarters with each other?
There are some coming through the roof, some about 80 feet above you that are clustered together.
I always love the loaded magic user questions.
Yeah, right. Are they within 30 feet of each
Are
other?
they all within 30
Are
feet
they
of each
within a
other?
30-foot radius? Could I possibly get a metric butt ton of cockroaches
Do
in
they-
one
do they-
massive fiery raid spray?
Do they happen to be in a perfectly straight line?
That's too much to ask for, I think.
There
But
is
are they?
there is a group of them together. 3 of them are coming in through the roof, through that opening, and they're kind of chittering over the edge, and they begin to crawl along the roof. They're dripping ichor coming off of the ends of these venomous spines, just contrasting against this night sky that's depicted on the interior of this roof. But you can spot 3 of them have come through the roof, and are in close proximity to each other.
Are we able to respond to the like telepathy thing that she sent out to us?
You can certainly try.
Okay, I want to think really, really hard and see if I can get a message back to her in this frenzy. Please, we just need to know which runes to press to go home.
Nothing. You see her lose focus for just a moment, and Noldrith turns and breathes on her. This purple and black and starlight breath erupts from him, and Bryndoinum gets thrown. The gravity around Bryndoinum appears to seems to disappear as she is violently thrown into the roof, and the 2 of them continue to scrap on that side of the room.
You said that the gate on the right looks like it is active right now, right?
Correct.
It is shimmering like it is some sort of a portal at this point.
It is starting to shimmer. You're not sure if it's becoming a portal, but as you're all now standing on the appropriate runes, they start to slide and maneuver into what appears to be in place. Just
Okay.
a moment here, please. I want to make sure everybody's on the right spot.
I'd like to call the civilians over and like let them know that we may be bolting into this portal soon, so we don't leave like several dozen people behind.
So the scale is slightly off here, but the bottom plate, the larger of the concentric circles, locks into place momentarily, and a bright flash erupts from the entire room as this entire gate activates.
Whoa!
Oh,
Holy shit!
Nice.
And there are
Oh, no.
colored portals north, east, south, and west of you. And you are not sure which one's which.
Oh, I have a really stupid idea. I'm going to go. No, wait. Should I just go and poke my head in?
Illyria comes running up as soon as she sees the gates marked.
Okay, Tarak yells to Soren, Soren, can you send your familiar through?
Oh God, yes. Which one? Yellow, green, or red?
That's exactly what I was
There
thinking.
is a
Green.
white one also to the south.
Oh, wait. We came in through that one. Fuck it.
You kind of walked past that one. It wasn't active. Now it's glowing.
Got it. Okay. We'll go into a forest. Green, home, please be, and send over Astrid to go through that there. And then just kind of like zone out and look through her senses and see if I can still kind of see what I see.
Very quickly, since I have a baby in my hands, what does Find Familiar say about being on the same plane of existence?
Good question. I don't think it says anything, but let me check. I will clicky la spell. Okay.
'Cause I don't think there's a maximum range as long as she's on the same plane of existence.
Your familiar acts independently. The familiar drops 0 points. It disappears. The familiar is within 100 feet of you. You can communicate with it telepathically. Additionally, you can use your action to see through your familiar's eyes. During this time, you are deaf. As an action, you can temporarily dismiss. Can't have more than one familiar at a time. You cast the spell, which is familiar can deliver a spell with a range of touch. Doesn't say anything about being on the same plane.
Okay, I
It's
assume
100
that
feet though.
it is 100 feet
Right,
to
it's 100 feet.
communicate. And I
Right, to
assume,
communicate and direct her, and I'm just sending her through and seeing
Yep.
what I see.
I assume you can see through her eyes on the same plane of existence. So for rule of cool on that, you watch as she travels through. Oh, okay. You watch as she kind of travels through this green gate, and the light fractures and shimmers around her momentarily as she kind of passes through and then flips into existence. You see her appearing in what looks like a very dense, dark forest. Kind of during
Okay.
daytime. Or kind of,
Forest
sorry,
not
Does it-
it's during daytime, but it seems very dim and dark, as if it's dusk there now. But there is some light coming through the trees. And you
Does it?
you can hear and see through her eyes, you just can't communicate with her, correct?
Right. Does it look like the pool that
Ready?
we left from?
I got it right here. Give me 1 second. Everybody say bye, Brigida.
I
Bye, 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 bye.
Brigitte.
Brigitte.
Okay. Thanks, Grammy.
Change her love?
No, she was just sleeping and she woke up and squawked a bit, so I grabbed her really quick. She got changed before she got put down, though.
Squawked a bit. I like it.
Babies do squawk. Sorry.
That's true.
Baby stuff.
He's just fucking.
That's cute.
Yeah, she appears through and you listen carefully and kind of try to figure out where she's at. And you can smell the air through her and it seems familiar almost.
Okay.
And she kind of pauses for a moment, looks around and goes, "Meow." And then you hear "Meow" from the distance and you see a physical living owlbird cat, like an owl cat, kind of jump out of the tree and come down towards her. If you had to venture a guess, she is somewhere in the Wastemanor forest.
Okay. And I can't communicate with her to send her back here, right?
Nope.
Okay. So I'll just action to pop back out. Okay. That's, I think, somewhere home, but I think it's pretty far from where we want to go. I don't know if that's an option, but we'll pin that.
Illyria is frantically looking at the Bradige and glances over the set of runes. And she looks back to you and she goes, that's a very good idea. And she kind of directs somebody up to her and they wave their hands. And this small little imp kind of appears in front of them and they whisper to it and it goes and flies through. And she looks at the runes temporarily and she goes, I think this is a rune for Eterna. And she points to one on the ground that's now lined up. Those of you that were on runes, they kind of shifted and moved around to where now you are roughly positioned like so. She goes over to where Diggin's at, and she sees the group of these these cockroaches, as they've called them, kind of approaching from the south, making their way through the doorway into the forest. They're just off of the map's edge right now, kind of running up towards you guys, and the familiar goes zipping through to the south. And a couple seconds later, the person pops back and goes, yeah, that one's home. We gotta go. And the entire group kind of looks to you and goes, thank you, but that white gate's Eterna, and we have to go.
Fine. Go. Yes.
We
Be safe.
need you to, you're gonna need to cover us a bit. And Illyria begins, and the two casters that are with her begin throwing spells towards the south and running and ushering all the children in, and they begin to funnel to the south.
Are any of the cockroach things within 120 feet?
About that time, I'm gonna need you all to roll for initiative.
I was waiting. I waited too long.
Oh.
God dog it.
No, what do you want to do?
You can cast your fireball at the 3 on the right-hand side. You have been waiting so patiently to fireball.
Thank you. Could you please make a dexterity saving throw for those 3?
Absolutely.
I'm physically incapable of rolling good on initiative.
Oh, come on.
It's so frustrating.
Oh my gosh. All right, here we go. I'm going to break the streak. Over 10. Son of a bitch!
Nope.
Oh, no.
Do you have initiative advantage yet, or is that later?
Um,
For
that's a
barbarians,
very
when
good
does that pop
question. That's a very good question.
I can never remember that one because I always get it confused with the advantage on deck saves thing.
Okay.
I don't have it yet.
You need a dexterity save from those 3?
Yes.
Let me just get a dice bag. Yeah, I got my dice right here.
I didn't think Diggin got advantage on deck saves or on dex initiative. Jesus.
First one is a 16. Second one is a 7. Third one is a 13. Does the 16 meet it? Oh, the 17. Does the 17 meet it, Sarah?
A 17 does make it. I believe
Oh, it's half damage for one of them.
Yeah. Okay, okay. So that's not bad. 16, 21. 25 total damage. For the big one, for the non-saves, and then halved for the saved.
Okay. Kind of following your cue as she's watching you all begin to engage in combat with the gate open now. Bryndoinen drops down and breathes on the 3 of them here.
Yeah.
As she lets out this massive erupting breath against the group of them. You hear her kind of recoil a bit towards the end of the cast and look back to you. And she gets very panicked. You can see the look in her eyes. She absolutely smokes these 3. And with your fireball, that's enough to destroy the 3 of them. But as the last person kind of slips through, you see a very strange looking one of these cockroach creatures standing at the back of at the back of the group that's making their way through. A few of them get through the portal, but the rest turn to you, and you see one standing on its hind legs that's cloaked. I do have an image of him.
Oh no. It's Dad.
You told us to roll for initiative, right?
Yes, I did. And this
Okay.
is where this is going to happen. I'm putting this into the lore chat. This tall one standing at the back. It's in the lore chat. Clicks its jaws and it manages to grab one of the deep gnomes on its way through and just rips it in half with its claws and looks to the group of you. And Yamana will not be deceived. And we're going to put him out on the board.
Too late!
And we're going to go. Alright, let me roll up these guys' initiative. Oop. And there's a couple dragons that happen to be battling each other, so we're just going to put them on the initiative and let them act as well. Oops. Maximil, did you roll your initiative?
I did. I rolled a 21.
Okay, let me fix it in here for you. Because I accidentally rolled you by clicking it. 21. And Tarak, what'd you get?
15.
15. Alright, so top of the round is Maximil with Tarak on deck.
Okay, so where are the creatures are in the far bottom corner?
They're all to the south. Let me see it through your eyes. You should be able to see them all down here.
Okay. I see the creatures here. hold on. There? Are those them?
That's the big
Okay.
one. And then there's 2 more right next to him.
Well, since I am within range and I have a couple more of these left, I'm going to, shake out my hands and I'm going to squint a little and send a fireball again at them because that felt really cool the first time.
Okay.
Just a swirling blue flame that ignites right at the big one, centered on the ugly guy.
Okay, centered on Big Ugly on a 20-foot sphere.
Is it 20-foot sphere?
Should be.
think
I
so.
just checked your tooltip. It should be a 20-foot sphere.
Cool beans.
Absolutely hits both of them and singes part of the gate, but let's see if he's got any nasty tricks up his sleeve.
Oh no. No tricks.
He does not have those types of tricks, so that's fine.
Good.
All right, and they need a dexterity save for each of them.
Thank you.
Oh, gross! That's 2 natural ones, and then
Oh!
2
And
natural
I
ones and a
just rolled
21.
3 6s in a row for my
Nice,
damage.
nice.
So let me add this up for a moment.
Oh, well, he does actually have advantage on saving throws against him for magical spells and effects. Let's see what he gets. He got a 1 and a 4. So quality from Akishagal, the Demon Lord. Also, shout out to Tome of Beasts for these awesome creatures that were Amana's servants here in Kosoba. They've been doing all their nasty work. I absolutely love these fiends. So shout out to those guys.
So that's a total of 28 damage with the second little blast.
Well done.
28 damage, okay. And then
And
one
Max
of
is
them,
just like hysterically giggling right now.
one of them saved and took half. Okay, anything else for Maximiel? Tarak, you're on deck.
No, she's just gonna stay standing on the thing.
Okay,
Just-
Tarak, you are up.
Yeah, right. All right, so it looks like Tarak is too far to use his darts, right? Because that's looks like more than 60 feet.
Yeah, they're about 120 feet away from you right now.
Yeah. So, and the others are they through the gate or are they still?
One did not make it. One died on their way through the gate, but the others did make it.
Okay. But right now there's nothing. It's not like we have to cover their retreat or anything like that because they're either
No.
all through or the one is dead, right?
Correct. You guys were quick enough to make it.
Right. Okay. And who there are 3 creatures in total, 1 big one, 2 little ones?
There are 5 creatures in total. 4 of the spawns over there, and then 1 big one.
Okay.
Are they hidden in the shadow?
Yeah.
There are
yeah, 'cause
there are some trees that are kind of, the portals are kind of blocking line of sight a little bit. Let me just quickly remove some of these. I'm just going to remove all the wall objects so you guys can see a little bit better for combat. There you go.
Okay.
Oh,
I see.
What is our distance from them?
Um,
Just so I know.
100 from you. You are quite a ways from them. Botrin, you are from the closest one, about 125 feet.
Okay, that's fine.
There is on your left-hand menu, there's a little ruler that you can click for measure distance.
And I didn't. It didn't work out too well. Oh,
That's fine.
uh,
All right, Tarak, what would you like to do?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Does it seem like if we step off the runes, is anything changing? Like, Tarak is just going to move off and see if anything happens.
You take a quick glance around and you see the runes around these portals start to dim slightly,
Okay.
but it's not rapidly dimming by any means.
All right. Well, Tarak is just going to hold ground. There's nothing he can do right now.
Okay. Our first one of these guys to move up. Let's move up 30 feet. And you watch as this creature kind of unhinges this cockroach-like mandible and it's dripping with this ichor, and it starts to and this swarm of insects gets coughed out of the creature that starts to fly towards you all. And it goes after it on initiative. Bloop. Yeah, it's very gross.
Don't like it.
All right. And that is his turn, and Swarm of Insects is moving up towards you guys now. Okay, on deck. Diggin, you're going to be on deck here soon. And the Swarm of Insects is making its way directly towards you.
Screw you, Swarm.
Surprise! He's not biological.
Staying back.
Good luck.
They're just gonna turn his body into their new hive.
Diggin just has termites from now on.
No.
All
They
right.
crawl out of his circuitry.
You hear the larger of the cockroaches in the back there. Fires for the weak and unimagined. Try this instead. And this plague of insects appears on the pedestal, encasing Tarak and Tarak, Maximil, and Diggin. I need you all to make a Constitution saving throw.
Of course it's con. Oh, 19!
All right, come on, please, Max.
Diggin, you manage to make the Constitution save. You take 10 points of piercing damage.
It's 11 for Tarak.
And dirty 20 for Maximil.
Maximil, you take 10 points of
whoops.
piercing
I
damage.
didn't mean to do that. 28.
So
I
Maximil,
uncanny dodge and half the half?
It's for deck saves, isn't it?
I don't know. I'm looking.
yeah, uncanny dodge
Or is it-
should be.
No,
that's
it's
evasion.
any attack.
Yeah, any hits you with an attack, you can half the half. Yeah, so you can take 5 damage. So Maximil, you take 10, and Tarak with a 11 on the save. The insects start to bite and chow down on you. You take 20 points of piercing damage.
Oof.
But the insect plague kind of begins to swarm in the area, and it seems to stay there. So he's going to start to... He takes off and flies 10 feet into the air, and then moves forward an additional 30 feet. Okay. But next up is Brendoinen, and she is not having any of this. She escapes from Noldrith's grasp and books it across above you guys here. Come on, baby. Move where I need you to. There she goes. Rawr. Sorry, cue sound effects, but I have sound effects. There we go. She flies above there, and she is going to use... She opens her mouth again, and this time breathes crimson nebulous flame across the entire group of them. You see a lot of them get exposed completely to this fire, and she turns and looks back at you and just says, "You need to run."
Okay.
Fire is so cool.
Let's see here. Oh, nobody saved. That's bad news bears for all these guys.
Good.
Tarak shouts, "Which way?"
All of them are home. Just run.
Okay. All right.
Well, we were close to a desert, weren't we? We could go towards the yellow.
Where is my effect?
Go up.
There it is. Oops.
Like
Okay.
Busat
Diggin, your turn.
and Tal.
Look, scared AF. I'm
Remember-
booking it.
Remember, you can sprint as a full
Oh, yeah.
action. It removes your... You don't get a bonus, you don't get a standard. You use everything to move 5 times your movement speed.
Don't need it. I'm a rogue. I have bonus action dash. We're
You
doing
do.
it. I'm gonna go into the yellow portal. Since the 2 were identified, I guess. I don't think anybody yelled that out, but whatever. I just stick my head in. See what happens.
The rest of you watch as Diggin sticks his head in and vanishes
Okay.
before your
Bye,
eyes.
guys.
As he gets pulled into the
Okay,
portal.
I guess we're using that one.
Sorry. Made that choice.
All right. Diggin disappears completely. Doran, it's your turn.
I hope the robot knows what it's doing.
I was told to run.
Doran,
Beelines it.
you beeline it, cross into the portal, and whoop, disappear. Noldreth is up, and he shakes off getting knocked aside, charges after Brendoinem, and begins to attack her. You see him biting and clawing, digging into her with multiple attacks as she kind of screams out in agony, trying to hold some things at bay for you all as you get away. Soren, you're up.
I want to use my action. I want to shoot him with Scorching Ray.
Yes.
Way to piss off the dragon before leaving.
No, the cockroach dude.
Okay, the
Okay.
cockroach king.
Oh, the cockroach dude. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's where you're gonna turn the
No,
dragon.
I'm not touching the dragon. She's got that. But this guy talks shit
Everybody-
about the fireball that I did not appreciate.
I
So I'm
think
gonna roll 3 attack. Oh
everybody
god, he's
thought
natural
that.
20.
I think everybody was very concerned about what was about to happen.
Okay, so we got a natural 20, we got a 19, and another 19.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay. So I forget, we do brutal criticals? Or how does this work for spells?
Does work for spells as well, so you maximize the first full set of damage dice and then add another roll.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring up my calculator real quick, so it's gonna be 12. Yes.
Math.
Okay, and then I roll the other. Well, I guess does a 19 hit?
19 hits.
Okay, cool. So the other 2 hit then. So the second one is gonna be balls. Then that is plus 8. Okay, 34 fire damage to this boy here.
Yes.
To the
real
cockroach
quick.
lord, the big one.
Yeah, just
Big boy.
I don't want
You
to
seem to
rob
like
you.
fire. Have some more.
I don't want to rob you of an epic moment between you and Brundoinem and all the shit that happened a bit ago with Max Milgo again, but I'm gonna give this one to you, Nathan. How do you want this cockroach lord to fall beneath your fiery bolt? He's
So
dead.
kind of, yeah, leaning out a little bit past the rings where I can still see him. No, you seem to like fire. Have some more. And then once I see it just eviscerating his form and just melting through him, just yeah, that's better. And then run.
And then run.
The rest of the cockroach creatures scream as they begin to charge and make their way directly to the group of you. The rest of you see as the few people have begun to step off these stones, the lights are starting to fade quicker and quicker. And yeah, you get taken and whisked away, Soren.
And we out.
The other spawns begin moving up with great haste to catch the group of you. Botrin, you are up.
So I can dash 60 feet. Is that right?
Yep. We also have a sprint action that's a homebrew one from my old Pathfinder stuff, where you can trade every action and just sprint, and you get 5 times your movement speed for a round, and you just run in a straight line. That's all you can do.
Well, everybody else is going that way. I go that way too.
Peer pressure, peer pressure.
Botrin's whisked away. Maximiel and Tarak, the two of you are left behind as the remainder of these spawns start to move towards you. Maximiel, your turn.
We're running?
You are? Yeah, I push Maximil
Okay.
in front, give her an extra shove.
And I book it, and before I make it through, I turn around and I shout, "Thank you!" and fall back.
And Tarak runs behind Maximil and he gets to about the center point, and then he stops and he looks at the gate to Eterna and kind of thinks about moving that way, and then he looks at Maximil running and he follows her.
You would have needed a whole new character. Tarak, as you step through the gate last, I'm gonna switch back to our other scene here. You hear the echoes of the fighting behind you as Brundoinem continues to battle against those creatures. And you're pulled through the reaches of space and time, and you see stars and nebula fly past you as you're ripped once again through a portal of some kind. And you feel warm, dry air against your skin. And you follow closely behind Maximiel as you're dropped about 5 feet up in the air and fall with it. But you manage to get your feet below you, being the monk that you are. Maximiel, you have a mouthful of sand.
Does it taste like home?
The rest of you get up and kind of look around for a moment as dunes stretch out endlessly around you.
Oh shit.
All right.
Oh, this is not good.
This
This
is
isn't
great.
home. I mean, this is great.
Tarak recognize where we may be?
The sky.
What color is the sky?
The sky is bright above you. The veil seems to be receding, though, and night seems to be coming to the surface of Cyorion.
Home.
We're home. We're home. We're home.
Yes.
We're home. Thank
Just get down and just like bury my face in the sand. Just yes. I hate sand, but this is lovely.
It's coarse and rough and irritating, but I love it.
It's everywhere.
It gets everywhere.
Not like you.
Not like you.
You catch your breath
Okay.
for a moment and look around as the night sky is, the veil is receding and darkness begins to overtake Cyorion. Batrin, the last time you witnessed this sky, there were fresh cracks in it, brightly colored during the daytime. But you look up and you see for the first time that they are barely glowing and visible at night. And the cracks in the stars, all things that you remember, but they seem aged and that they've been this way for quite some time. But you are definitely back on the surface of Cyorion. Exactly where, you're not all too sure.
Oh boy.
Well, I have the book. I mean, the map. We have the map to follow to get us to Light's Heart. I take it out. Does it return to the Cyorion model of it?
It shows the surface of the planet for a moment, and then fades. The ink washes away from it, and you don't see anything visibly on the map.
Oh boy.
Doran, you look down as you see the ends of your cloak and the little patches beginning to fray and disappear.
So we're not in Katala. But the map was supposed to work outside of Katala.
To an extent. Right now, you're probably pretty far away from Katala.
Oh. Oh no.
Quickly before the patches all fade, I'm gonna rip off. I'm gonna rip out. Well, it's all very useful.
Horse.
Shoot.
All of them. I ripped all of them.
I rip off whatever's left. Just screw it. I'm gonna start ripping.
Oh no. Batrin, you watch as everybody starts panicking and Doran begins tearing patches off this cloak. What did you have left, Doran?
I had remaining a dagger, one bullseye lantern, a steel mirror, a 10-foot pole, 50 feet of hempen rope, a sack, one rowboat, a silver coffer that is 1 foot long, 6 inches wide, and
Would
6
be
inches
the only
deep.
thing left.
The coffer is worth 500 gold.
Ooh.
I had 2 times 10 gems worth 100 gold each.
Whoa.
Whoa!
2 times riding horse with saddlebags, and 2 times potion of healing.
So very quickly, thud. This pile of stuff appears, and the horses kind of shake and get up, and they have saddlebags
Behold.
attached to them.
My stuff.
But there's a pile of stuff that appears as Doran frantically rips things off. Unfortunately, one of the gem patches was what was fading, and you don't get one of the gems. But you quickly realized what was happening and began to rip off the patches. And you just have a standard robe now with a whole bunch of other stuff in a pile in front of you.
My circlet disappears too, right?
The circlet, you had cast the last spell out, or cast the scorching ray out of it, and it seems that the runes on it as you take it off and inspect it are starting to fade, and it's beginning to turn just to an iron circlet.
I'll keep it anyway. Put it back on.
I would take a step back, but I don't see myself on the map.
Yeah, that's that spot on the map, sorry, is representative of just we needed bodies, so there should not be any token vision on this scene. Like, you guys should be able to see everything unrestricted.
The good news is, once we find somewhere to trade, we have like 1,500 gold to split between all of us.
That's not bad.
That would be nice.
Quick,
Can we look out? Do we see?
Scaly Gland, that was good.
Where
Is
are
that
we?
Is that what that is?
So since this is the first time you are seeing this map, that blue path on there was actually the path that they had mapped out. The larger section of the map, if you zoom all the way out, this continent that you guys were on was the continent of Katala.
Was
the markers, or is it still is Katala? I'm sorry. I should pick my words very carefully, considering time.
We
magic
don't know how
just
long
happened.
we've been gone.
It's been nuked.
So it is, yes, it is still there.
Good news, we're playing a Starfinder campaign now.
That's just where they were before, is like we used that party marker, and that's the path that they were cutting through the wilderness. The blue line is the line that they mapped out themselves, so we can actually take that away. But the rest of it's actually like the roads and stuff, and we'll make sure you can see all that later. But that's not where you guys are. At least you have no idea where you are, so that map where you're at is technically inaccurate right now. You're just kind of out in a desert somewhere.
All right. So given that we spent about 1 week in Kosoba, I would guess that 3 weeks passed here in Cyorion, if my calculations were correct. So it should be approximately the same, like, season, right, y'all?
I suppose.
Oh, does
It's a
it
better
seem to be
educated
the same
guess.
season?
Like,
Make
does it feel hotter, colder?
I mean, you're in the desert. It feels a little dry, a little bit cooler as the sun disappears behind the veil. Make an investigation or a. Let's see. This is a. What would this check be?
Be survival.
I would go with
So,
survival because what you are checking actually is what most people would be able to read the season by is by guessing the phase of the moon.
And Tarak is a far traveler, so he may have some experience in trying to tell the seasons. And
Yeah, you guys can make a
Yeah.
survival check as a group. Whoever wants to roll it can, and everybody else can
I'll
grant
roll
an
it.
advantage.
Hang on, I have a +1 on wisdom.
Yeah.
All right.
I know.
My survival
Yeah.
is a +5.
All right. Let's do it,
Yeah.
Dorn.
Okay.
Don't let us
And
down.
with advantage.
With advantage.
Okay. So let's just go. Bop. Oh.
Oh, all right.
Okay.
Nice. 19. Huh?
Some time has definitely passed. You're also you're in an unfamiliar part of the sky, Doran.
Mhm.
You've traveled a bit on the open seas, so you know how to read the sky a little bit to figure out your positioning. You're further south than you expected.
Ooh.
And the phases of the moon, Vikitter is in its last quarter. And Eovis is a new moon right now. So you are definitely in the first week of Venetis, which is the fall season, also called the waning. And Maximiel is correct. Just about 2 weeks and 4 days have passed.
I would like
just about 3 weeks have passed. Oh wait, my things are wrong. Hold on. Actually, it's been closer to almost 4 weeks have passed, about 3.5 weeks total.
Good.
All right. So this isn't Kutala. Does this seem, Doran, like Busat area?
We're definitely further south than we were. But where exactly, I cannot be too sure.
Okay, so that's like. Oh.
Does this look like your home, Max? You said you were from a desert.
Yeah, I'm from the ethereal desert. Ethereal
Desert. Yep.
Yeah, that one.
Does this look familiar?
I like pick up some of the sand, taste it. Tastes like sand.
I mean, you didn't have enough with the mouthful of sand you had when you landed?
I miss it. Look at this. It's everywhere. It's all in my hair now too.
I mean, sand is sand wherever you go. I don't know if.
Yes, I was more referring to landmarks or something of that sort.
Yeah. Is it very flat, or is there a taller dune or a hill that is near us?
Perhaps
that
a
you could
mesa?
There appear to be a lot of tall dunes of
Okay.
gently sweeping sand.
Okay. Tarak is going to try to walk to the nearest one,
Yeah, you
and
can walk up it a little ways.
don the eyes of the eagle and look in all directions, see if he can spot anything that looks like a landmark or civilization or anything that could help us determine where we are.
Go ahead and make a perception check for me.
At advantage,
Yes.
that is a natural 20 for a total of 24.
Tarak, what do your half elf eyes see?
So you start to crest the top of the hill. Oh man. That's really not working, is it? Actually, let me get you a different one here. Hold on one second. Give me a moment, please. Try this. So, in the distance, you start to hear some strange noise that you may have heard a long while ago, Tarak, but just very distantly you can hear the sound of thunder echoing across the landscape. And as you start to crest the dune, you can see a series of lights in the distance, indicating a city. But as you're watching, the thunder rumbles again in the distance, but you don't see any lightning or rainstorms on the horizon. All you can see is clear stars. And you watch as this set of city lights slowly shifts and sways as it starts to move. And you realize that in the distance you're watching as one of the walking cities in the kingdom of Ashihoya out in the Ethereal Desert is creeping slowly towards you across the sand. And
Just like nudge,
that's
Max.
where we're going to take a quick 5-minute intermission, everybody.
Nice.
Max is home.
Oh no!
Oh no! What do you mean? Oh no!
Oh no! Was it what? What? Oh no! That's.
Am I the only one who's like excited to be going to his own home?
All right. Well, we're going to take a very quick break, about 5 minutes or so. Let everybody stretch and grab a drink, and then we'll be right back, everybody.
Sounds good.
Welcome back, everybody, with these new fancy. Look at your fantastic sandy backgrounds, everybody. It's a desert full of sand. I hate it. It gets everywhere.
Gotta be in character somehow.
Gotta be in character. Exactly. Yeah. So mouths full of sand all around. For those of you that have mouths to catch things with. And those of you that were not nimble enough to land on your feet. But you all landed, got your bearing, to figured out that you'd been gone for about 3.5 weeks, and we'll just go ahead and take this party icon here. Some of us have been gone for 3.5 weeks. Others have been gone for quite a long time. So we're gonna take this little party icon. We're gonna move it way down to somewhere in the Ethereal Desert where you guys are at. We'll do a quick swap over to our battle map so the stream can see as well as we move way down there.
Oh,
So
dear.
somewhere in the Ethereal Desert, you crest one of the dunes, and Tarak, you get a glance over the landscape and hear the thundering in the distance of the great walking cities of Ashihoya. These hundreds of square mile, massive, magically enchanted cities that walk on between 6 and 10 legs, depending on the city. There are about a dozen of them that make up the Ashihoyan Empire, that it stretches the entirety of the Ethereal Desert, that wander around with huge canopies of copper-wired linen that allows them to catch moisture from high up in the air. They stand hundreds and hundreds of feet off the ground, hosting populations of 30 to 50,000 people on their massive infrastructure as they march across the desert. For those the uninitiated that have not been here in some time and didn't grow up here, I know some of us did and are very excited to be home. The cities of Ashihoya tend to move around the desert because supplies are scarce and it was easier to trade and be in different places. Some of you may know the deeper history of where these cities came from, but common practice here is for the cities to wander in a path around the desert and meet up with each other and park for a day and allow people to move between cities and trade and set up shop and work across the entirety of the Ashihoya Empire. But you stand in the late evening, cresting a dune, watching as one of these massive behemoths slowly thunders towards you. Judging Tarak from distance, and you know about how fast these things move, it should be to you guys within 2 to 3 hours if you just hang tight. You've traveled on them before, Tarak, and know that travelers can light torches and signal from below to get a ride if they're stuck in the desert. Most of these, in fact, all of these cities are friendly. They like trade and commerce, but usually a stop in the night comes with some questions.
So yeah, Tarak has encountered a couple of those throughout his travel, but he is still just standing there for several seconds, just awestruck every time he sees one of those great walking cities. It just doesn't fail to just completely keep him in awe, and he just stares at it sort of in disbelief. He turns back to the group and looks at them, and especially at Maximilian, and says, "It's a great walking city, just hours from us. We're in Ashihoya. Maximilian, you're
What?
home."
What are the colors? What are the colors?
Okay. Tarak is trying to recognize. He does not know what the colors represent, but he's trying to see any of the banners that the city may fly.
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check. Since it is dark and it's even though you have the eyes of the eagle, you still get a -5, but you're at advantage because you're using the eyes of the eagle for sight-based perception. It's just nighttime with the dark vision.
Ooh.
Very muted from this distance and just incredibly hard to see with the light of Vikitter, the red moon, kind of shining down across the landscape. It's a little difficult to see.
I'm afraid I cannot see.
All right.
Nixmill is the color of the city an issue? I'm confused
well,
here.
it's, I just want to know which one it is. I mean, they're all very friendly. Don't get me wrong.
Can I
Okay.
insight check that?
If they're all very friendly, yeah.
Yeah. Tarak, you can Soren, you can insight check that, and Maximilian, if you want to roll deception or performance, you can, or you can just see his roll and kind of tell him what your vibe is.
Sure.
Good luck.
Yeah.
25.
Remember,
Okay.
it's not a lie
Nice.
detector. You can definitely just describe body language and stuff.
Yeah.
Maximil is nervous. She doesn't like it. She doesn't seem to be shifty with her behavior, but she just seems like there's one thought running through her mind right now, and it is just a long string of swear words.
Cool.
Tarak yells to the group, shall we summon it? We could.
Well, I for
Light a
one don't want to
fire.
sleep on sand tonight, so yes, please.
We have
Max?
flares.
You
Alright,
do
who
have
gets
a
the
flare
flares?
left. You fired 2 of them, so you have 1 left.
You guys, Soren?
Soren.
Yeah.
Soren has one left, yeah.
Before we go through with this, is there a possibility that they might behave erratically?
Unless we give them a reason to, they have always been friendly with my dealings with them.
There's a 1 in 12 chance that it's my hometown.
Is there something you're not telling us, young
I'm
one?
fairly recognizable in my hometown.
Do we want it to be your hometown, or are we hoping that
like-
it's not?
Yeah, like, are you a local celebrity? Would it be good for us? Or, like, are you wanted for murder and we are now... aiding
Wanted
and
for
abetting?
murder.
Well,
Okay, I don't know. The way you're acting, I don't know.
how about we disguise you? Either way.
Are you wanted for something else?
No, no, I don't think so.
I would like to insight check that.
I don't need to.
Oh, damn. Well, I got a 5, so it doesn't matter.
Maximil?
She doesn't think so.
Okay.
All right. Okay. So, I kind of ran away. We kind of went over this a little bit earlier. I was trying to figure out more about the Stella Tenuum because they had something to do with me and my powers and whatnot. But I may have left out the convenient fact that I am directly related to the trade prince of Katya.
That's a bit of a thing to leave
That's-
out, yes.
Oh,
So,
dear.
if it is your home that's trekking over the hills over there, are we going to be considered kidnappers of some sort, perhaps, for being with you?
No. You would
Okay,
not
good.
be kidnappers. If anything, you'd be, oh, thank goodness she's back, yay.
Bringing
Maybe,
Also, there
I
might
don't
be
know, you
some
may
kind of
actually
a
be considered
reward.
kidnappers.
Yes.
We could turn her in,
Maybe.
it's true.
That's, I mean,
Can I bullshit check that?
Mm.
Go ahead, BS me.
There should also be, that's a level above insight
Yeah,
check,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So there's that. And, it's not like I didn't leave home on friendly terms. I just didn't really leave on any terms. I kind of dipped.
Right.
Right.
But they don't assume that someone ran off with you in the middle of the night. They know you just left of your own accord.
Oh, you pulled the old Busat bye-bye on them. Nice.
I know that one.
It's when you leave without saying you're leaving. You just go.
It's like the
My favorite.
Lamendor leave, yeah.
Well,
It's like the Leia
perhaps
goodbye.
then we shall
The ethereal
go with
exit.
my original suggestion, where we disguise you or you disguise yourself, until we know
Yeah.
It is safe not to
Yeah.
and be in the open.
Yes.
Okay.
But the thing is, it could also possibly be a really, really good thing to have someone with the ability to be like, "Can I speak to your manager, please?" When we're talking with the guards, and just like be able to go all the way up really quickly.
Well, in which case you can drop the disguise.
Okay.
And that makes it even more impressive. You know, you're a very important person that you travel with, and you have to be traveling in disguise
Yeah.
until such time as you see fit to reveal yourself.
I'll take the empty robe now of all the. Oh, that's just a torn, tattered robe, and I'll throw it to Maximil.
I like hold it with 2 fingers.
You don't give me that look. You can press the digitate it. You know this.
Yes, it's not the fact
That's
this is so unstylish.
She doesn't like your style.
I am well aware,
you
but
can
listen.
do better than that.
I throw it on and I put the hood over, but the horns still stick up, so it like makes me look a little taller.
All right, Tarak casts minor illusion. With your permission, young one.
Right? What am I gonna minorly look like for like a minute?
A dwarf with a really big beard.
I'm not sure that. Okay.
Tarak, while I love my gorgeous, gorgeous ginger beard, I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna vanish by the time I'm done with this sentence. And then it just kind of fades away after that. So maybe if you're either willing to do that several times, or I wonder if there's something I can do.
Wanted, to do a little dress rehearsal, so you get used to it.
Aye, laddie. I'm all ready to be a dwarf.
That was terrible.
I never said I was good at accents.
Truck, can I borrow those goggles of yours?
What?
The goggles. Can I borrow the goggles you have?
Of course, but it might
Maybe-
take you a while to make use of them.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, yes, you have to attune. We're just talking about.
I missed the whole conversation. I was elsewhere. I was off in time and space. I don't know.
All
Okay, never mind. Changed my mind.
Okay.
Diggin kind of creeps in the conversation ever so gently behind you, Doran. Just like holding some sand, and as it like drips out of his hand. I told you something was wrong.
Wait, say that again, please. Diggin.
Well, I don't understand it. But we are in the desert now.
Yes.
Yes, you were there with us the whole time, right?
Yes, we went in and somehow were transported to a different place.
Yes.
Right.
Where did we go in?
Well, in the jungle.
Oh,
Right,
God.
and then
He doesn't remember any of it. No, he doesn't remember.
but he's back at least. That is very good, but he does not remember. Unfortunately, well,
Hug.
maybe it's
No,
fortunate that
thank
he does
you.
not remember.
All that for nothing. Fuck.
Diggin, you are very confusing. I want you to know this.
Understood. But I do remember.
Gods, do we still have the knife? Tell me we got the knife.
We did. Oh wait.
Yes.
Oh
Did
wait.
She
No,
went through the portal before
no,
we
but she
got
gave
it.
it to us, didn't she? She gave it to us beforehand.
No, she said she would give it to us as we were leaving in payment for helping us.
I thought that she gave it to us then, like when we asked. When I was Not
Out of character, I don't
actually
remember,
fair.
but I'm pretty sure she said she was going to give it to us when
It's like a
we
reward?
got her. Yeah, as a reward.
As
Ben?
Like reward.
as
She
Diggin
did.
speaks and as the others are talking to him, Tarak is giving Digging a kind of a strange look, and he kind of steps away from him. The other party may or may not see it, but there's just something that he's very uncomfortable with.
Maximil, you would notice because you gave Dagon a hug, but those of you with perceptions of 13 or, I'll say 13 or better, when Illyria went running by to the portal, she came and checked the runes to make sure she was standing on the right one, and she was near Tarak, and she had to pass by Diggin before they left, and she was standing there directing people, and Maximil, you feel a blade stuck to Diggin's back.
Oh.
On his lower back near the panel, and it appears there's some sort of magnetic attachment there, and the blade is sticking right there above the panel that it accesses.
Oh, wonderful. Don't worry about the dagger, guys.
Oh. Oh, good. Not all for loss, then.
Well, shall we summon the Great City?
Probably, yeah. Yes, we should. We're not going to spend a night and days and weeks possibly in the middle of the real desert, so yeah, we're going to
survive. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Why don't we walk to it? Okay.
You hear the wood croak, and as it groans and turns just a few degrees to line up with the flare, and then the as the legs continue to step down and make their way in your direction.
Well, we could make up some of the difference and walk towards it, like Diggin said, so we get there
Yeah, we
faster.
could.
Because we want to get there faster.
And anybody who doesn't want to walk, I mean, we have horses now, so.
Maximil,
But we
I will add for Maximil having knowledge of these cities and been on them for a long time. Standard procedure is signal flaring and standing still so you don't get stepped on.
Good point. Right, I just suddenly remembered that.
Ignore the horses.
We're staying here, then.
Yes, we're staying here. We don't want to get
Do we have to
flattened.
feed the horses? Are they real?
I mean, they're real now, so I would assume so.
They kind of nicker and whinny in your direction, and they're like pawing at the ground. One of them looks close to an Arabian horse, so it's kind of like hoofing at the sand and finding little patches of grass in the desert here. I guess it wouldn't be Arabian in Cyorion, it would be an Ashihoyan horse. So the real world inspiration. The other one's a painted colt, and it's very confused at the surroundings and is not sure where to look for food, and is just kind of sitting there, like uneasily standing on the sand, a little upset about its surroundings, but it's hanging out with you guys.
Can I try and pet that one?
Make an animal handling check.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, boy.
Petting a horse is really if you roll a 1, you poke it in the eyeball or something.
Okay, it's a 10 plus, I don't know if I have anything.
Just fine.
12. Okay.
You're very well aware of how to like calmly approach a horse. One that's kind of concerned about its surroundings, but you calmly approach it, and it cools down a little bit and relaxes near you.
The one that was looking for food, I'm going to walk up to it and take some like nuts out of my ration pack and just like offer it up flat hand and like.
It chows down.
There you go. See, look, no problem. We can feed horses with simple things. And then we can sell them when we get to the city, and, it'll be fine.
Not bad, actually. We could sell horses. That would be very useful. Sorry.
How would horses be useful to the people in Ashihoya, though? Like, the people in those cities?
You can
They
make
really
it
have-
good point.
Like,
It's a big city.
it is a big city, I suppose so. I just don't remember seeing many pack animals.
Are they that big that you can ride a horse through it?
I missed what Botrin said there. What did you say?
You can make a good stew of them.
That's
true.
probably what they would be
Matrin,
sold for.
Matrin and I may be on the same page on this one, but I didn't want to freak out anyone else.
Food is food.
I don't need to eat. But
How lucky you are.
what are we going to do about the dragons?
Ooh.
Plural? Dragons.
The ones fighting.
You remember that.
He
Correct.
said he remembers everything.
But he remembers us stepping into the portal in the jungle and then arriving here.
Negative. You
No.
took it that
Oh.
way.
Gotcha. Okay.
We are now in the desert. Didn't enter from the desert.
Correct.
Yeah.
But when we were in wherever we were, something was off.
Yes.
Very much so.
Yeah, a lot of things.
Couldn't explain what was happening to me.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we were very confused by that as well. Seemed like you were some kind of multi-consciousness being for a moment there, and then we found out you were some kind of home model automaton.
Do you
Perhaps
remember
a gardener?
Yes.
that? Hey,
As we're discussing, or they're discussing all of this, you can see Tarak getting even more uncomfortable with this, and he just sort of turns away and steps away from the party.
Tegan, would you mind if I read your mind?
Sure.
Okay.
Please be careful.
Yeah, I'm always careful. What are you talking about? And immediately, I use the medallion to cast detect thoughts,
Okay.
and just like get surface thoughts, and then once I get those going all the way.
All right. Surface thoughts. Diggin. What are the surface level thoughts of Diggin?
Confusion, I guess, is the main overwhelming sensation you're getting.
Okay. And when I probe a little deeper, like I did in Kosoba, like to get to the place where I saw all of those voices, what happens then?
Are you going to try to resist it, Diggin, or are you just letting her go? Because you don't have to roll a save if you're just going to let her go.
She warned me, and I opened up my mind. But as you probe deeper, you enter into that familiar space that is Diggin's mind, and what greets you is just space of different voices and the whispers, and they slowly build and build and build, and then stop. And a piercing voice comes through. Male.
This body is mine.
Doesn't sound like digging though, right?
Absolutely not.
Huh.
Would cast a hex at this point, but it's not going to be good. So
So at
Only she
this
hears it.
point, Batrin, only she hears it because she's doing a detect thought spell, and she's the only one that hears it. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for that. Actually, no, you've dealt with this before. This is no longer a physical racking of your body. You know what's happening to you, so you could use a wisdom or an intelligence saving throw. You're well aware of what's going on here.
Could I use Constitution anyway?
If you'd like to.
I would prefer to use Constitution.
Yep, you steel yourself against what you know is going to happen.
It's an
Uh-oh.
8 total.
What was the total? I'm sorry. You broke up just a little bit.
8. I rolled a 4.
Damn.
You take 4 psychic damage
Oh, ow.
And you all watch as Diggin's standing there, arms go up into an attack stance, but he's not holding anything. And these two
Tarak,
large blades appear from the forearms of Diggin and erupt out as these two huge mantis blades stick out of his forearms. And Diggin
Do we have
doesn't
time to react?
He doesn't move to attack. He moves into this stance, but it seems as if Diggin's in control. This involuntary reaction occurs.
as Tarak hears or notices Maximil being hurt, he runs back and he grabs onto Diggin and he's, I know you know more than you let on. Perhaps you have the others fooled. I do not believe anything you say.
Rock, there's.
Be quiet, Maximil. He is from Eterna. He knows more. He is hiding something from us.
If you'd let me get 2 words out, I'd be able to tell you what he's hiding.
Drag swallows and he still has his arms on Diggin, but keeps quiet.
Diggin.
I was gonna say, does Diggin have control of his body?
Diggin has complete control of his body. Yeah, it was just that very brief moment that
He's like looking at his arms and these blades coming out towards you. What happened?
Those are new.
Put
Yes.
those away.
Can you do that? Can you put them away?
I lower my arms.
I know you hold the answer, Diggin.
Answers to what?
Eternal.
Yes. What?
What about Eterna? Where it is? What it is? What?
All of it. My home.
Sorry.
I mean, possible.
Oh, gosh.
I know you are keeping things from us.
Can I try and recoil these things?
Make an intelligence check at disadvantage.
Ooh.
I
Not
think
good.
I think if he is hiding things, I don't think he knows them.
How,
There's something else in him
how
that
do we
is
know
hiding
that?
them. Well, I just
Right.
read his mind, and there was a not Diggin voice inside of Diggin that was all like, "Oh, this body is mine," and I think that's very controlling of it. Like, and it doesn't grant Diggin a lot of autonomy.
So
But-
you're saying Diggin is possessed?
Possibly,
I thought we knew that already. They said there was a multitude of voices in him last time you tried to
but
read
then
him.
there was just one loud guy voice that was saying, "This body is mine." It was very creepy.
One that controls all of them, or one that is suppressing all of them? Did you get anything like that?
The whispers built, stopped, cut off. The one guy voice went, "This body is mine," and then my head started to hurt a lot.
Did you hear anything
Right.
about Eterna?
No, sorry.
Any reference? Anything?
No, I'm sorry.
Tarak looks at Diggin. Eterna, do you remember anything about it?
See him like trying to fight the battle of sheathing his weapons, like away.
You can't.
And
Get
then
him,
he-
you can't get him to go away yet.
Yeah, he just puts his arms down and like tries to not be threatening and is kind of worried about it, but then looks to you, Tarak. Only what has been told.
Tarak, I think you are still the expert on the subject of Eterna for the time being.
Tarak grunts. He pushes Diggin away in frustration and grabs his quarterstaff and just kind of holds it in mostly a defense position, but between himself and Diggin and the others.
Oh boy. Look, I think we're all just a little stressed from Kosovo. Kosovo was very stressful, and we get that. But I don't think this is the right solution. So I think that once we get onto the city that's coming up, we can answer the guys' questions when they ask us what we're doing there. We go to the closest pub and we drink as much alcohol as you guys can handle.
Tell him to put his blades away.
I can't.
Can I try and I don't even know what this would be, but like see if I can assess the mechanisms by which they ejected and try and like help tweak them back in or something?
You can make.
I'm assuming it's like gears rather than like biological, right?
Yeah, you have no levels in artificer or
I have
any
none, yeah,
mechanical history, so you can make a general intelligence check at disadvantage.
Alrighty. Wow, that was okay. Intelligence check.
Yep.
Okay,
so
so
straight intelligence
that's
check.
plus 4, so dirty 20, and a
Wow.
is that a 12 plus 4? 16. No, wait. Yeah, 16.
16
Nice.
total.
Yep.
You kind of figure out that they are on some sort of a hinge. You can't figure out the mechanics behind them specifically, or even what metal they're made of, how the gears work. But there is some sort of mechanical switch. The slot that they come through is really like the width of a pen. It's a very thin
Okay.
mantis blade, very long and dagger-like in shape, and you can't really see, but you can describe what you're looking at to Diggin, and you kind of explain to him. You can explain to him how to, like, what mechanism to activate. Diggin, you can reattempt your intelligence check, just at a base intelligence check rather than at disadvantage now.
Sweet.
You see that little piston right there?
Turning his arms. No, I don't get it.
The
These are
little
new.
piston, the one inside.
I don't.
Ouch.
Please. Ow. That didn't work.
Never mind.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I don't know. Maybe someone in the city. Max, people in these cities are mechanically minded, right? They have to move the entire city. Maybe they
course,
can help
yeah.
fix him.
Do you want me to take a look at it? I could.
You can see Tarak tense, but he lets Maximil
All right.
approach.
Where's the thing? Soren, you saw something?
I think it's that little piston right there, but I
I
genuinely
put my
don't know.
finger on it and I cast Shocking Grasp.
You can't quite reach it, so you put your finger like near the hole and you kind of go zzz, and you try to zap it from a distance.
Yeah.
Very finite work. Make an attack check. Like make
Hit
an
him with wedge
attack
bolt.
roll. Yeah.
With, I don't need to say the no damage part, right?
Yeah, this
Do I
is
need-
more of a
Non-lethal.
this is more of a do you coat the entire area in electricity or are you managing to pinpoint the mechanism? Very, very itty bitty tiny thing.
That's an 8.
I'm dead.
No, sorry, 7.
Self-destruct. Enable.
Dead arm.
Your
At
arm
least it's
tingles.
not a natural one because it would have stabbed you. Then.
It's gonna be a 16 and then it ran into
Your arm tingles and the whole arm kind of goes dead for a second. And you see the mantis blade retract, but then you like move your arm down and gravity pulls it out, and like the whole mechanism's just kind of loose, and the blade like flops around a bit.
We should give Diggin the robe.
Close.
And
I
after
don't
you,
think that
just-
worked.
after you kind of
Something
snap
large to
it,
cover his form.
it like whips back out and locks into place again.
Oh shit. Oh, it's gravity operated. Interesting. No, it's not.
I tried.
Perhaps we need an artificer in our group.
I've already taken 2 multi-classes. Oh Lord.
Botrin, you're just enjoying your new tattoo, watching all this ridiculousness go on as everybody fusses about the Yurig.
I'm keeping very quiet because I don't know these people well, and I'm just observing all their behavior, and I'm trying to figure out things. I was going to cast a hex, but the description of the hex isn't going to help anybody. So the hex was going to be knowing, and I was going to try to find out something, and maybe something secret about digging, but it doesn't work that way. So just sort of like watching everything and sort of.
Well, we
Alright.
always have rule of cool. Let me double check knowing.
Yeah, if I cast knowing, it's sort of like I get to
I thought you just say one of the dice.
and discern things about my surroundings, and I can know three things or one thing about every creature within like 30 feet of me. So I didn't know if I could pick up on something secret about Diggin or somebody else in the party.
She's dying.
Yeah, if you want to try, you certainly can. What happened? I'm sorry, Maximil. That was so hilarious.
Magic aided die.
I reach into a bowl of nuts, which is right next to all of my dice.
Oh, no.
Then I just put a die in my mouth and started crunching on it.
Oh my
They do make
god!
edible D20s.
It sounded like the
resin.
super crunchy of a plastic, and I like looked at him.
Oh my god!
Tasty resin. Nom, 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 nom.
Oh, David, aren't you glad that you chose this group to hang out with for the Monday?
So sorry.
We eat dice.
Guys.
Sorry, I'm really sorry.
So there's always the rule of cool, and you can give it a shot and see what happens if you want to extend that capability to the group and say you got something that might work out.
Sure. I mean, I pull the tattoo off my thigh, and I cast the hex, and I try to find out some insight about who these people are, and especially on the mechanical man.
We'll get to that later. Whoa.
So go ahead and make an insight check at advantage, especially if you're up there trying to investigate that device and see if you can figure something out. So if
Can
you
I
hold,
do the sheet, or do I have to wait and do the insight after I already roll?
so if you hold shift and click it, that's an insight check at advantage.
Gotcha.
I turned on follow alerts for the stream too, and that was a very loud ding in my ears. I was like, "What the heck happened?" And then I realized I followed the stream. So thanks for following our stream.
13, not that great, but
So the 13. I mean, the Yurig in itself is very, very strange to you. You've heard rumor of them and haven't got to investigate them a lot. But with the insight and knowing, you get the sense that, you know, you have a familiar with a tattoo needle that might be able to actually reach down in there and flip something.
that's the next thing I was going to do, was to get my my familiar to go into there and see if he can't adjust one of those things. So I was going to use Arcana or history or something to try, or just a straight intelligence check to try to direct the familiar to accomplish what they were trying before.
Well, with knowing and the perception of everybody else working on this, you know exactly where that needle should go to kind of flip the hinge if he can't do it manually. And
Okay.
the needle is thin enough to kind of get in there and adjust that device.
All right. I send my little friend in there.
He sits up and perches on Diggin's arm, kind of in your direction with the big gnashy teeth. This little gray homunculus with a tattoo needle. And sits on your arm, Diggin, and gets ready to jab a needle into your arm.
Careful.
And he sticks the needle in, and it goes, and then kind of goes, and clicks back into place.
This one.
He runs up the other side of you and jumps to the other arm, sits down.
Button, do you know the language this thing is speaking?
And what's his name?
Does it speak to you? Do you know what that is saying to Diggin right now?
His name is Spackle.
Spackle, I love him.
It's a good name.
Thank you, Spackle.
And kind of tinks you with the needle. He puts it in some ink and he goes tink, tink, tink. Looks back to Batrin. And jumps back to Batrin's arm.
Tarak puts his quarterstaff back on his back and steps back, but he continues to give Diggin a look of mistrust.
So,
Oh, that was deeply upsetting. How
Anything
close
else?
is the city?
it's been about an hour of fiddling with Diggin and trying to figure out how to make him not be in such a threatening stance. So it's only about 2 hours away at this point.
Oh God. Okay.
Max is on the sand and she's like dusting it to make a flat surface. And then she's going to take out her wand and draw this grid. Gonna pull Tarak over. And she's gonna say, "Have you happened to ever play Dragon Chess before? I find that this is a very nice way to relax the mind, and you seem a little worried."
Well,
Do we have the?
young one,
Well, I can draw the little markers.
Tarak reaches in his pack and he pulls out this beautiful dragon chess set and lays it out on the sand and says,
Oh, with the full like 4-layer board thing and everything.
"This, perhaps
Oh, God.
this will be easier and more enjoyable. But yes, I have found it to be a good way to keep my mind off things."
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Do you prefer to play the offense or the defense?
I'm back.
I think you should be on offense to let some of your aggression out.
Very well. All right, so Tarak sets up the pieces.
Tarak and Maximil sit down to play dragon chess and wait the 2 hours left for those to arrive. Doran, you realize the sands are shifting a bit under all the weight of that treasure you threw off your cloak. If you've started to collect any of that and put it onto the horses, and it's getting dark. It's a little difficult to spot it all.
Yeah, I round up the gems that did survive and the coffer, and I throw them into the sack. And I heft that on my belt.
Okay.
And then let me see what else was in my thingy here. Robe of
2
useful
horses,
items.
rowboat, healing potion.
There's a
So
rope out
right.
sitting in
Bunch
the
of gems.
sand.
Yeah, so I'll take the potions and add them to my sack as well.
So I'll take-
I'm just gonna sit in the rowboat.
I was gonna say, are we in dunes? Can we like slide down the dunes on the rowboat?
You technically could, yes.
Use the horses to pull it up.
I take the dagger that was summoned and I look at it and go, well, I'm not very good at using these things. Hey, Diggin, catch! And I want to. This is gonna be stupid. I would try and throw the dagger at Diggin so that he can catch it.
Nice. Someone who can't see in the dark throwing something at someone who also can't see in the dark. Nice.
This is their
Pointy
idea.
object.
Never mind. No.
You already threw it.
I was like,
I already threw it. Yeah.
You spoken into truth of the universe, so make a improvised weapon attack roll since you don't know how to use
Oh no,
daggers.
it's a disintegration dagger.
Here.
It's a disintegration dagger.
You can handle the improvised weapon. So just make a strength attack roll with a disadvantage since you can't see the man really that well.
Strength attack with disadvantage. Okay.
Please God, roll a double 20 now.
With disadvantage.
Yeah, is it good to roll bad or is it good to roll
I don't
really
know.
well in this context?
As long as it's probably not a natural one, it's good to roll
Natural
bad.
1, natural 20 is like the two things you don't want right now.
Yeah.
Oh well, that didn't do it right.
A 4 and an 18.
That's-
So
Yeah, 4 plus what's my strength? 5, so 9.
hey, dig and catch, and those of you that are standing at the top or sitting at the top of the dune playing Dragon Chess, you hear as this dagger goes whipping past you into the distance. And digging, you're standing there waiting to catch something, and nothing comes.
Can I see where it landed with dark vision or no?
It went out over the dune and into the
One of your lights
distance.
that way.
I cast dancing lights and send them down to the people who can't see.
Thank you.
Doran,
Yep.
I'm over here.
I'll just go look for the dagger somewhere in the sand.
That was
Make
terrible.
an investigation check at disadvantage.
Disadvantage. Oh.
Yes, it's a dagger that was thrown over the top of a dune into another sand dune. It's very difficult to find.
Okay, 11 plus whatever my investigation is, plus 4, 15.
Okay.
With the dancing lights, you see a shining glimmer off of it's embedded very far into the sand, and there's like a little piece of handle sticking out, and you notice it in the dune.
There we are. Digging, catch. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah,
I'm here
I'll walk
this
over.
time.
So you managed to round the rest of your stuff up, and if nobody has anything pressing, the
Well, what is
dragon.
the dagger that I just got?
No,
Alright.
it's a standard
It's a-
dagger.
Son of a
Standard
bitch. I have
dagger.
2 daggers. Or 3 daggers. Okay.
And you have 3 daggers.
Well, now you can afford to lose one.
If you
I
can find a
can
if you find a place to
roll
put it.
one.
I
Pretty
just
much
wanted to
stored in
try
my
and summon
belt.
my familiar back and see if that's a possibility, or if like, I don't know, the planar travel has messed that up at all.
No, she's still within this plane of existence. So if you try to summon her back, she kind of poof back and goes. Meow.
Oh, hello. Just give her pets while I'm sitting in the boat and just kind of wait
City of the
for the
boat.
ship or for the city.
Okay. Anybody else up to anything important during these last couple hours as the city draws ever closer?
My video box is black, so I don't know if I'm still here or not.
Yep, we hear you.
Yeah.
You're frozen.
Frozen.
Oh, you are frozen. Let's see if I can bring you back somehow. Nope.
Nope.
Actually, let me do this.
Refresh that.
Dave, did you try ending your stream and joining us? Rejoining?
Yeah, you may have to rejoin us, David.
Mm.
But anybody do anything else important during the downtime while we wait?
Diggin doesn't know how the familiar works, does he? Long shot.
You see
Which one?
the owl cat
Yours?
reappear.
Mm.
You're pretty sure
Like-
if Diggin remembers, it went off the edge and died.
Yeah, there you
Oh
are.
yeah.
You're back,
I
David.
remember everything that pretty much happened there.
You've seen it summoned enough at this point that you've got an understanding that he can call it to him at will. Because he has resummoned it multiple times.
There's been a couple times where I've had to resummon her because of death.
This is I'm gonna DM you because it's kind of meta weirdness.
Alright.
We do that around here. Anybody else up to anything while we're waiting for the city to arrive?
So while I was going through my stuff, that stone of good luck that I was given from while we were in
Oh, that's
Kutala, I assume it vanished as well.
No, that was given to you as a gift, as a standard magical item. That's available to you
Oh.
forever. Yep.
Right, that's why my book is still good to go, right? The Arcane Grimoire.
Yep. That's
Grimoire?
Grimoire. Yep, that's still good.
Cool.
Then I made a boo boo.
Uh-oh.
Did you delete it? Because I can put it back on your
I
sheet.
did, yeah. If you could give it back to me, thank you. I appreciate it.
That was a luck stone. I will get that back.
I was
on
like,
your
we
sheet.
got that from Katala, right? There's no good no more.
Deleted.
Bye bye.
There you go.
Thank you. I will go ahead and.
That's funny.
Okay.
That assumed.
Diggin, anything you want to do while you're waiting for the city to arrive?
Yeah, I'll go up to the familiar and just kind of look at it. I am glad you are not dead.
Well, go on. Make friends. Just kind of like nudge her a little bit.
Just kind of
She-
give head scratches.
I think that means thank you. Still getting used to the language.
She enjoys the head scratches, but as soon as she like rubs up against you, there's a slight static charge, and there's a bit of a, and she
I
jumps
put my
back.
hands up.
Oh no.
Don't trigger.
Jumps back over to Soren.
That could be useful later.
Do not weaponize her like that.
Why? She's good at it. She's a
Alright.
little trained killer, isn't she? Yes, you are.
You all wait for 2 to 3 hours, playing dragon chess and talking amongst each other as the city draws ever closer.
At a certain
Sarang.
point, I would want to like talk to Batran, just kind of mosey over. Just so I feel we've been a bit remiss in our duties as, I suppose, traveling companions. You were there for a while, weren't you?
Oh yes.
Are you from there? Is this your home? Is somewhere else? Are you from Eterna?
I'm from Theoria, but I haven't been here for 30 years or more.
Oh. This is probably rude. How old are you?
I don't know. At this point, I don't know.
That's a fair question. I suppose, are you all right with being back?
Well, I've been trying to get back here for quite some time,
Oh, good.
but this is not the forest of my home, so I still have a ways to go.
What forest?
Do I remember the name of the forest?
Trying to think back through Batron's story here. Give me a quick second. You were
It was very close to where the
all the business went down. Yep.
yeah.
Yep. So you were around the
Waste
Waste
Manor.
Manor Forest. Yep.
Oh. Yeah. I mean, can I reveal that fact to them that I was there when?
You are more than able to. That's the point of like that backstory is you are free to reveal whatever you want to. You are not
So
doing anything wrong.
I tell Soren, I was an apprentice to. I was a reluctant apprentice to one of the wizards who helped to end Baraz's reign.
Oh. Fascinating.
Yes, the spell that they cast threw me out of the world, and I spent all of those years in Brundoinen's library, gathering knowledge, spending time, getting
I
these
believe
my
that would-
tattoos.
Make it a good deal longer than 30 years.
It's 30 years for me. I don't know how long it's here for here.
Ben, recollection, that would be about 120 years at this point?
That would be
3
correct.
to 4 times.
3 times.
3 times. So like 90.
Three
right?
times? So 90 years?
Well, hold on.
1 week.
Really quickly.
Yeah.
As far as you guys understand the time dilation and how long you were gone, sure. About 3
Mhm.
times is what you'd expect. The events he's describing happened more to the tune of about 100 plus years ago.
Okay.
Makes sense.
But I think you've been gone quite a bit longer than that. Did you have family that you left behind? Anything you needed to return to?
Oh, I don't think they're there anymore.
That's, yes, kind of what I was thinking.
It's just been me and Spackle. Me and Spackle for the longest time.
Well, we would love to have you travel with us for at least the time being if you have nowhere pressing that you need to get off to.
I do not. I don't know if I will be any help, but I will do my best.
The
I don't know that.
clarification, he talks about a wizard that helped assist the downfall of Buraz. Your modern history talks about a ranger, a paladin, a barbarian, and a cleric that worked together to defeat Buraz. There's no mention of a wizard in the stories.
Interesting.
Hey, we met the hunter.
You met the ranger,
I
yeah?
did.
Or ranger, yeah.
Pin that.
Would Diggin have any insight to powerful wizards?
Were you down there listening to all that, but at the same time, probably not? I mean, you would know of some powerful wizards in current day and age. Obviously, oh my gosh. Blank, no. The lady at the Astrakirin that you know?
Yep.
Right.
So,
I have it. Hold on. I don't remember it either.
Pretty sure
long
that's some
one.
zero shit.
My
Hold
name's
on.
Yep.
my name's
Alterix?
Al-
Telerex?
Telerex, yeah.
she's Malera Doris.
That's her
Doris
title.
Sailor. Yep.
Yep.
Malera. So you know Malera.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to discuss or do while you're waiting for the city to arrive?
Diggin goes down the dune on the boat.
Whee!
I'm still in the boat. Oh, we.
You hear
Hold on
chasing
tight.
behind you, and then Spackle jumps off of Botrin's shoulder. You know that Spackle's been cooped up with you for quite a while. This looks like the most fun thing you've seen in about 30 years, and Spackle immediately jumps on the boat and rides with them.
Can I like extend a hand, very like creation of man, and just like try and have to catch it? Try and catch it. as we
He's
get out?
running as fast as his stubby homunculus legs can catch, and he does grab a hold of your hand and ride down, and then he immediately jumps off as soon as you reach the bottom, and he kind of goes, and then runs back up to Botrin.
Right. Sure. What he said. I don't know.
Botrin and Spackle have like a little conversation, and then Spackle starts to tattoo a boat onto my shoulder.
Nice.
Can you just make a boat now? Is that how that works? I don't know how anything works. I'm sorry.
I have to be tattooed first, and then I have to imbue them with the spell. So that's how that works.
Oh, interesting. Must go through a lot of ink.
Spackle seems to have quite the supply. It's interesting. You think that when you first watch as Spackle's sitting there, like jabbing him with the needle with two hands, it's very much like a Maori tattoo with the shark tooth needles. So he's doing the individual dots as he's stabbing him with it, and then he goes and he dips it in the ink, and looks like he goes to dip it into a pool, but he's actually like jabbing it into his hand to collect some inky residue from the inside of himself, and then stabbing Botrin.
Interesting.
Cool.
Interesting.
But within a couple hours, the city finally begins to approach closely. The thundering steps of the city making their way across the dunes. Tarak, it becomes much easier to spot, and you see a field of green and black, like with a slash across the middle to separate the two colors.
I
Wait.
relay that information
Which
to Maxfield.
Maximil, you recognize as the city of Rosita.
Okay.
Is this your city or?
No, it's gonna be a friendly city. Not
Oh,
mine.
thank the
It's
gods.
friendly too, but we're good. We're good.
So we don't get to see you as a dwarf then?
Absolutely not.
Out of character, Sarah, did you check Discord DMs?
I did.
Thank you.
I did.
So, the city draws close, and the thundering stops as the city passes the bow of the ship, this massive walking city, just above you. And you hear the creaking of ropes and chain as you watch the large platform descend off one side. The cities maintain two massive boom arms that allow the transportation up and down of goods from the floor of the desert to the city. Traditionally, two cities will park in front of each other, nose to nose, to provide shade for a day of trade between the cities, and a bazaar is popped up underneath the two cities in the shade from the sun. And these massive platforms that can hold hundreds of people and carts and animals to be able to transport up and down from the city are used as transportation from the floor of the desert up to the surface of these cities, some 250 to 300 feet above the desert.
No.
And
Can we tell about how long and wide these cities are?
So I haven't done the math out of character on these, but I do know the population for these cities. I peg anywhere between 45 and 100,000 people.
Oh boy.
And they are very, very large, to the point of where at least a few square miles stacks into them, and they are multi-layered cities. To where
And
there is
they
a
walk on like legs. You said?
there are these massive. So the inspiration. Offline here,
AT-ATs?
offline here, I'll show you guys the inspiration for like which trees are used and stuff like that, and some of the inspiration for the legs and stuff. But they walk on these massive sets of legs, anywhere between 4 and a dozen of them. The older cities have like 4 to 6. The newer cities, Rosita's a little bit better taken care of. It has 10 legs, and these huge legs work on like these big triangular pivots that walk the legs forward. And they have massive canopies behind them that operate as both a sail and to capture water from the air that's up in the
I remember
atmosphere.
that bit.
And,
So
and it's not just mechanical; it's also magical.
Very
Like,
much
that-
magical. Yes, there is a magical core to each of these cities that helps maintain it, and there's an entire. Most of you aren't aware of the inner workings. Maximil, you know very intimately that there is a team of wizards and sorcerers that maintain the underpinnings of the city, that manage the water as it moves through the sewage and like the processing of water, because water is a very sacred resource here and how they control it. But you all watch as this about 350 square foot platform lowers down from the port side of this large walking city, kind of right near where you're at. They're experts at parking these things. They saw your flare, marked where you were on their map, and approached and landed right near you. And coming down is a set of Rosita city guards. They walk out with spears, scimitars. A couple magic users cast dancing lights to illuminate the area. And you also hear, those of you who have been to Ashihoya, hear the very familiar splat zzz sound above you as a Gigi gun is going off. These mechanical devices that allow people to shoot an electrified current down a sticky ball that adheres to the underbelly of the city and allows them to repel and grapple underneath the city. Yes, very on the nose 3D maneuvering devices from Attack on Titan directly pulled into this game because I love it so much. But the Gigi gun is a device that the citizens of Ashihoya, the guards, use to maneuver below the city, and maintenance workers use to get underneath the underbelly. So you hear this clicking splat as the gluey side hits, and the electricity charges it and sticks it to the underside of the ship, this big city, and they zip and kind of hang above you. You can see the dark figures kind of moving, those of you with dark vision, underneath the city to provide aerial support for the team on the ground that's communicating with you.
Can we see if they have weapons, or is it is the Gigi gun like their weapon as well?
The Gigi gun actually attaches to a hook on their belt, so they can use it with one hand and have a weapon in the other hand. So they carry a spear with them if they're like attacking and making people under the city. But when they're moving beneath the cities in this fashion, they're carrying a bow with them. And as soon as they get into a position where they have a good firing advantage on you, they stop and knock arrows and draw and aim towards you. It's a little hard for you to see. Tarak, you can see these crystal clear.
At this point, have they made any moves that would seem any or threatening, or is it all mostly just defensive and being cautious about
cautious standard procedure for them? Usually they set up a defensive perimeter as the platform lands, because this is the only entry point in the city. If you were to attack it, besides attacking the legs directly, this is how you get up, is one of these platforms.
Right.
So this is standard procedure for them to set up defenses as the guards come out.
Tarak just kind of turns and says, "Hold still, my friends. They mean us no harm. This is how they greet us."
Hey y'all! We're travelers seeking clemency. Safe passage. May we join your city, please?
A large shifter steps forward. He's wearing a sash across the entirety of his body, and there's medals hung from it. It's in the green and black field, indicating that he is a decorated guard of Rosita. And he's a little bit barefaced. Maximil, you would know that that's from the cast of shifters that is a working class in the cities. So typically they do take guard work, and so he's risen pretty far in the ranks, but he's got this bearish kind of looking face. Stands pretty tall, about 8 foot tall. Pretty ripped dude, and he's got a big halberd. Plants it in the sand. What business did a lot of you have in Rosita at this time of night?
Travel.
Honestly, travel looking for a safe haven. We've been out in the desert for some time.
We bring gold for trade as well. If you are a trade city, I'm unfamiliar with the
horses.
territory. And
We
horses.
have
We
a
have horses.
And a boat.
And
We
a
have a
boat if you
boat.
need a boat.
Diggins just sitting in the boat, like awestruck by these giant puppy cities who might have souls, not knowing much about them.
Puppy cities.
Puppies.
Why would you have a boat in the desert?
Long story.
Just Diggin just like slowly goes down the hill.
For dune
It-
sledding, of course.
Yeah.
The dragonborn pulled it off his cloak.
Interesting. Would you not usually just... You're from around here. You look, motioning to Maximil, you look as if you might have been from... Wouldn't you just ride a dune sled rather than take a sailing boat or rowing boat?
We didn't have access to one of those, so we were just
Hmm.
playing around with that one. It's pretty
Good.
close, though.
Very good.
Uh,
You have gold for trade. That's good. All guests are welcome under the umbrella of Rosita, and we hope that you find our city safe. If you don't mind, just a preliminary inspection of your persons to ensure that you bring nothing dangerous to the city.
What do you consider dangerous?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, obviously we have protective measures for ourselves. We're travelers, but what do you consider
Understood.
dangerous?
If you were smuggling drugs or individuals
Oh.
wanted by the law, or any of you wanted by the law,
Not that
No?
I know of, no.
then
Although,
for at least
I'm
100
gonna
years.
ask, does anyone ever actually answer yes to that question?
you would be surprised what an idiot would do lost in the desert begging for water.
Okay.
Well, if you don't mind the inspection, we will get your horses boarded and your boat will can come to, I guess, and we'll
We
get
want
you
the
up.
boat. We could probably leave the boat. I don't think we need it.
Does the boat have a command word? Does it fold up into like a slip of fabric or something like that?
Oh,
No,
once
the
you
boat is literally just a kayak that was made when
Just
I
a
ripped the patch off.
Yeah.
Yep.
when you take the badge
It's
off,
a
it becomes
hunk
one.
wood. I mean, we could chop it up for firewood, I suppose.
Yeah, we may as well take
Yeah,
it.
let's take
Let's
it.
take it.
No.
Let's take the
They're
boat.
willing to
Hey,
take it.
you two,
All right.
go get the boat. Two of the others kind of go. "Ah." They all, and he gets a little grumpy, and they go and grab the boat and they drag it across the sand.
Thank
can
you
help.
so much.
Just a quick inspection. Yep, do your job. And one of them comes up and starts to cast spells and of a detection type. You see the runes appearing in the air. They're not trying to hide what they're doing. They're detecting good and evil, and he's trying to suss out your intentions. And then another one comes through and just kind of asks each of you to open your bags individually. Just kind of peeks in really quick, makes a quick look around. Holds up the I don't know who is carrying it, but there's the filter with the blue and cloudy murky liquid in it that you guys picked up from the time area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Is that
it-
Maximilian?
One that changes colors.
It's like
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah, the one that's changing colors. He like pulls that out and kind of looks at it. What's this one? Yo,
That's
Yeah.
a really good question. Oh, one of the reasons we're going into the city is to try and identify that.
It-
Don't open it yet,
Uh,
please. We don't know what it is, and it may change what it does depending on when we open it.
do you wanna? And he holds it up to the magic user who's casting spells, and he
It
very
won't work.
quickly like
We
tries
tried.
to cast identify on it.
Try
Uh,
that. Doesn't work.
I don't know what it is. That doesn't appear hostile. All right, I want to get back to drinking. It's good enough.
Thank
Okay. The rest of y'all, if you would just get on board there and head up, we'll get you up top.
Thank you.
You all make
Sounds
your
good.
way to the platform, having been thoroughly inspected
Yeah.
by the late night guards, and they bring you up to the surface. It's a bit of a ride. It's about 5 minutes as these cranks work, and you can hear the ropes going. And as you ascend hundreds and hundreds of feet into the air, those of you looking off the edge may get a slight sense of vertigo as the desert disappears below you. But as you get higher and higher, you start to smell the sweetness of salty air as it makes its way from the ocean up in this area, this place high above the desert. And you can see why people love it up here. A slightly cooler, gentle breeze making its way across the city, and as you get to the surface, you can see torches and lights setting up the city for its vibrant nightlife, banners of green and black hanging all over. And you can hear the din of people in the distance enjoying tavern life. You can see the boards that make up the city streets in the sand as it seeps between the cracks. You can see little bits of light underneath. Those of you who have been here before know that the city extends underground, and others that may have a sunlight sensitivity or may not want to be out in the broadness of the daylight with others make their way to little seedier underground places. But Maximil, you know Rosita is known for its advances in magical tech and being one of the chief engineering cities of Ashahoya. And you know that there's quite a lot to enjoy here. Where would you guys like to go as you step foot into Rosita?
When was the last time I ate?
It's
That's a good question.
you felt full as you kind of got ripped through time back to where you were, maybe a little bit hungry, but it's definitely time for something to eat.
Yeah, I would want to go find food.
I
And a place
mean,
to
I
stay.
imagine all the shops are closed at this time of night. I think best scenario is we get some food, some drink, we find a room to sleep for the night, and tomorrow we deal with our business.
That is a great idea.
I have an idea.
Maximil, have you been to this particular city?
Almost definitely.
Absolutely, you have.
Absolutely.
So perhaps you can lead the way.
I don't know if we'd currently be able to afford where I used to go.
So
Eh.
I have an idea. I don't know if it sort of sullies the moment of arriving in a new city, but we do have this, and I'll pull out the doorknob.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that.
If we can't find somewhere nice to stay, we do have this.
We do.
We do. We always have
Let's go
that.
see what we find.
Yeah. Oh, actually, there is a bar that I know about. Oh God,
Lead the way.
oh God.
Do they have
I
good
kind
food?
of went away from my parents for a little while to go. Oh gosh, it was the pigeon, the
wild
singing pigeon, the singing pigeon. That's what it was.
The singing pigeon.
Pigeon.
I like it.
Yeah.
Singing.
Let us hope there is not a sign of the talent of the bards in that place.
I only have one question. Do they have good food?
Good enough. I like.
That'll do. Lead the way.
That's good enough for me, yeah.
Let's check it out.
Okay. You make your way towards the singing pigeon. Josh sent you an update there. So you make your way down below the city. It's not really the underground by any means. There are entrances throughout the city to make it to the under levels. Tend to get a little rowdier and rougher crowd down underneath the city streets. People don't like to really weigh too much. There's a few cities that still very much classify themselves with the shifter caste systems of old that are established firmly in those cities. But the underground's where the lower caste used to hang out, and people still just tend to congregate with like-minded souls. And down here beneath the sturdy streets, it is rowdy and loud and boisterous, and there is a lot of drinking and singing going on. You make your way through the twisting streets underneath the main surface level. You can see sand in the night sky cracking through the boards above you as you wind down these back alleys, people bumping into you with food and drink in their hands, dancing in the streets. And you make your way into this little tavern with a red painted pigeon on the side, and it says The Singing Pigeon. And you can hear voices carrying in bar tunes from the interior. And as you kick open the door, the songs are in full swing as everybody is being led in a boisterous bar tune by a young woman dancing up on the bar, tapping her feet and singing with a large flagon of ale in her hand. And she turns to finish this epic verse, looks to the door, and drops her flagon of ale the song stops immediately as you all catch your breath for a moment and look, and she runs up and grabs Maximil by the arms. You've been gone for this long and you step into here?
Hi.
It's
Hi,
Claire.
Lindra. How you doing?
Oh my god! And she embraces you in a huge hug and pulls back for a moment, and you see a couple very large individuals near the back of the bar there stand up with large weapons and kind of lean on them. She goes, no. It's fine. How did you find yourself back here? I thought you'd been gone. Your parents reported you missing, of all things.
Oh, I was just wandering around, and I was
Oh my god,
found
please.
myself.
Drinks? Yes, food?
Yes, of course.
Of course. All
Food.
these are these all with you? Yes?
Oh, yes.
Okay,
yes.
food, drink for all of these people. And you hear cheering, and it goes for everybody in the bar, and everyone cheers. And you can see her now. She's covered actually in grease all over her hands and her face. But she has a very, very nice dress on that's got little greasy fingerprints all over it as she kind of cleans herself up. I'm sorry. I was working, and things were very busy. And you hear a woman kind of come by with a huge tray, and she moves over to a table, and the bigger gentlemen have like pushed a bunch of people off of a table for you, and they very hurriedly rush you over to another side of the bar. And the music kind of kicks back on, and people start singing as she sits down, and this busty barmaid sets down a huge platter of various breads and meats and cheeses and everything. Batrin, this is some of the most wonderful smells you've had in years. And a flagon is placed in front of you, and she grabs it and she begins pouring it. And she's, I'm sorry. It's so wonderful to see all of you. I don't know you, but if you're friends of Maximil's, you're friends of mine. Welcome.
I didn't catch your name.
Oh, I'm Melindra Castile. And then you hear cheers from the other side. The Jewel of Rosita.
Oh,
You're
you're a big deal then.
It helps when you're a princess of the family that owns the city. And that's where we'll end today's session.
Princess friend.
So
I'm sorry I had to be muted. There's a thunderstorm going on.
it was fine. I heard it and I just clicked it really quick since I knew we were in a dialogue there anyways. But thank you everybody for joining us for session super 2019, session 19.
19.
Yeah, 19. Next is gonna be 20.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm on top of this.
So, thanks everybody for joining us. Welcome back to Cyorion after you guys have been stuck in Kosoba for a while there.
We did it. We're
made it
alive.
home. You're alive. It's great to have everybody back here, and thanks everybody on the stream for tuning in and for the follows today. It's always awesome to have new friends on the stream. We'll see you guys all next week. Well, maybe we have one person out next week. Josh is on vacation. We'll be digging next week, but we'll see everybody else. Thanks you guys for joining us. Have a good
Thanks,
night.
everybody. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Good night.